Robot, and for today's review I've got the Sideshow Star Wars 1/6 scale R2-D2. So a lot of people have been waiting for this ever since Sideshow first introduced their first Star Wars figure with the Luke Jedi figure. It's been really interesting to see how they've developed the line over the years. They went from human characters to armored human characters, slowly started introducing new things like battle droids and IG-88, and now we finally have a R2-D2. And you'll see in a moment there's some really exciting things about this compared to some of the things that have been released in the past. So, you know, this really is almost like what you might call a masterpiece R2-D2. I mean, it's just completely decked out. As far as packaging, to start off with, typical Sideshow Star Wars packaging. A lot of people kind of think Sideshow should update the look, but if you're collecting all of these, it's nice that they all have the same consistent look. So in that aspect, you have the same sort of packaging that you've had with previous iterations of Sideshow Star Wars packaging. Again, traditionally, you've got the opening clasp with the magnet on the side. You get several views of the character. So again, pretty consistent for Sideshow packaging. Jumping into what you get. So obviously you get an R2 figure, and then you get a plethora of accessories. You get his drink tray from Return of the Jedi, all the pieces that you need to complete that with. You get the lightsaber that he shoots to Luke. You get all the various arms that he may possibly have throughout all the movies. You also get a little magnet piece, restraining bolt, goes right there, it's magnetic. Just a lot of little cool things. You can use that restraining bolt to help open up the compartments, and which you can use to fit the various arms that come with R2. Some of these go in specific slots, and you can kind of, I mean, there's a lot of history on, you know, which pieces go where, you know, depending on which movie scene you're trying to recreate. But just as a quick example, this one would peg into a hole. You also get the table that represents the scene in A New Hope where Obi-Wan and Luke are together and they reveal the message from Leia completely for the first time. Once you put Leia in there, this is a little button, and then she's illuminated. Which also brings us to another feature. Take R2's head off. There's a little switch here. Just flip that on, and he will begin cycling through a different array of lights. And he'll do this forever as long as you keep the light on. You will notice that at some point it kind of stops and it cycles over, you know, so it starts looping. But it's pretty impressive. You know, you can see lights coming out of every port that normally you would have seen in the movie. Even on the back, they've tried to simulate sort of the detail that's happening back here. So it's really amazing. I mean, there is more than just blinking. There's some switching happening between the lights, and it's really, really impressive. So up until now, there's not been a lot of choices. There's been recently, well, more recently, the Hot Toys R2-D2, and in the past there was a Hasbro for their 12-inch line. So if you had or started collecting Sideshow Star Wars figures, you were kind of left with something that was really kind of out of scale. When you compare this to the Sideshow, huge difference. A lot of that's probably because not that the Kenner and Hasbro people didn't know how to scale it, but a lot of the times they make toys to fit in a certain size packaging or fit a certain footprint on a retail shelf. But either way, because of that, if you're collecting these higher end figures, you know, you had stuff that really didn't scale with it well. But now with Sideshow finally releasing their version, you can see a huge difference. I mean, this really is properly scaled and, you know, looks realistic at the same time. Other than the accessories, the lights, the head does turn regardless of the mechanism for the lighting. So that's another feature. Also, which we won't get into, the panels come off on the sides so that you can flip them to have a more movie accurate version based on different shots in the original movies. The model builders flipped these panels around, so you can also recreate that specific to scene depending on, you know, what you're trying to do. But he does have his third leg. On here, it's a button, so you press it to make it eject, and then you pull it down, and it kind of snaps in place, and then you just pull the legs back and put them in the correct position, and he's got his wheeled version. You can basically do whatever you want with him. Complete any scene that you're trying to, any way that you want to display him. He is incredibly detailed. There's a good application of like dirt, so he seems dirty but not like incredibly dirty. The simulation is pretty nice, you know, knowing that this is like paint or spray paint or whatever they did to recreate it. It looks really good. It looks like this was a real model and they miniaturized it, so that's another incredible aspect of it also. So you can still get this from Sideshow. They're still available. Who knows how long they will be. So if you're interested in this, you know, the price is pretty good for it. It's not super expensive compared to some of the other Sideshow and Hot Toy stuff. And if you're collected any of this Star Wars 12-inch 6th scale line, Hot Toys or Sideshow, this is going to be worth getting above everything else. So if you're on the fence, I'd say go ahead and purchase it. So that is it for our R2 6th scale Sideshow figure. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time, and we've got some more reviews coming up.